Hello, welcome to Caribou English. Today's lesson is a CELPIP speaking mock test. It's in the same format as the video I did last week, so if you want to check that out, I will put a link at the top of the video. It's the same format, but just different questions and different answers. So, this is the lesson plan for today. An example question for each of the 8 tasks, and then an example answer for each of these questions. Also, I will provide you with advice for how to deal with common problems or confusions on the CELPIP speaking test. These are the 8 tasks that you will have to do on your test. Number 1 is giving advice. 2, talking about a personal experience. 3, describing a scene. 4, making predictions. 5, comparing and persuading. 6, dealing with a difficult situation. 7, expressing opinions. 8, describing unusual situations. So I will provide the timestamp in the video. If you want to skip to one specific question, you can do that. So if you are ready, we will begin. We'll do one question and one answer for each of the 8 tasks. Number 1, giving advice. Your friend is feeling stressed about work. What advice would you give them? If I were you, I would start by identifying the main sources of your stress. Is it the workload, the deadlines, or maybe the work environment? Once you know what's causing the stress, you can take steps to address it. For instance, if it's the workload, try breaking it down into smaller tasks and tackling them one at a time. This can make it more manageable. Additionally, don't hesitate to talk to your supervisor about how you're feeling. They might be able to help you by adjusting your responsibilities or offering support. Finally, make sure you're taking care of yourself outside of work. Regular exercise, a healthy diet, and sufficient sleep are essential for managing stress. Remember, it's okay to ask for help if you need it. So, all of these answers should be about 60 to 90 seconds long. One problem you may have giving advice is that the advice is too vague or general. My recommendation for a solution is to be specific by providing clear examples and actionable steps. Task 2, talking about a personal experience. Describe a time when you overcame a difficult challenge. One of the most challenging experiences I faced was when I was preparing for my university entrance exams. The pressure to perform well was immense because my future depended on those results. I remember feeling overwhelmed, especially because I had to balance studying with part time work. To overcome this, I created a strict study schedule, which helped me focus on one subject at a time. I also took regular breaks to avoid burnout and maintained a positive mindset by reminding myself of my goals. When the results came out, I was thrilled to see that all the hard work paid off, and I was accepted into my top choice university. This experience taught me the importance of perseverance, planning, and self care. When talking about a personal experience, a problem may be forgetting to include the impact or outcome of the experience. Always mention how the experience affected you or others involved. Don't talk just about the experience, but also you can talk about what happened after the experience. This makes your answer more interesting and also adds more time to your answer because you need 60 to 90 seconds. Task 3 is describing a scene. Here we have a picture of fireworks. So for this question, we're going to be describing fireworks. It's a dark night with no clouds in sight. It's the perfect canvas for a dazzling fireworks display. The sky is an endless expanse of deep midnight blue, and the air is filled with a sense of anticipation as people gather to watch the show. Suddenly, there's a sharp crackle, and the first firework shoots up into the sky, leaving a sparkling trail behind it. As it reaches its peak, it bursts open with a loud bang, exploding into a brilliant array of colors: blue, silver, and white. The vibrant colors spread out like a giant blooming flower, each petal shimmering against the dark backdrop. For describing a scene, many people say that it's hard to have depth. In other words, the descriptions are too basic, lacking depth. So, to enhance your description, you can focus on sensory details, sounds, smells, and colors. In this way, describing fireworks is kind of useful because it really is a sensory experience. Number 4, making predictions. How do you think technology will change the workplace in the next 10 years? I believe technology will bring significant changes to the workplace over the next decade. First, automation and artificial intelligence will likely take over many repetitive tasks, allowing employees to focus more on creative and strategic work. This shift could lead to an increase in productivity and innovation. Additionally, remote work will become even more common, with advanced communication tools and virtual reality making it easier for teams to collaborate from different locations. However, this might also mean that companies will rely less on traditional office spaces, possibly reducing the need for large corporate offices. On the flip side, these changes could lead to a demand for new skills, especially in tech related fields. So, continuous learning and adaptability will become crucial for workers. Overall, the workplace of the future will likely be more flexible, tech driven, and focused on innovation. One of the big problems for making predictions is that the predictions sound uncertain or weak. The solution is to use confident language and provide reasoning to back up your predictions. 5. Comparing and persuading. Your friend is trying to decide between buying a car or a bike for their commute. What would you suggest and why? I would suggest buying a bike rather than a car, especially if your commute is relatively short. A bike is not only more environmentally friendly, but also much cheaper in the long run. You don't have to worry about fuel costs, insurance, or parking fees, which can really add up with a car. Plus, biking is a great way to stay fit and healthy. It might take a bit longer than driving, but you'll get some exercise while commuting, which is a nice bonus. On the other hand, a car does offer more convenience and protection from the weather. But if your goal is to save money and reduce your carbon footprint, a bike is definitely the better option. Also, many cities are becoming more bike friendly with dedicated lanes and bike sharing programs. So it's getting easier to cycle safely. When comparing and persuading, a problem can be that the arguments feel unbalanced or one sided. Solution: you can acknowledge the pros and cons of both options before stating your preference. And you can also do this just to add more time to your answer. So maybe you already talked about the bike and you don't know what else to say. So you can also acknowledge the cons or the downsides just to add more time. It is a speaking test after all. Number 6, dealing with a difficult situation. You've been asked to manage a project with a very tight deadline. How would you handle this situation? Managing a project with a tight deadline requires careful planning and prioritization. First, I would break down the project into smaller, manageable tasks and identify the most critical ones. These are the tasks that absolutely must be completed on time to ensure the project's success. Next, I would create a detailed timeline, assigning specific deadlines to each task and making sure there's a little buffer time for unexpected delays. Communication is key in this situation, so I would keep the team updated on progress and any potential issues that arise. If necessary, I might delegate some tasks or seek additional resources to help meet the deadline. It's also important to stay focused and avoid getting overwhelmed by the pressure. By keeping a clear plan and staying organized, I'm confident I could deliver the project on time, even with a tight deadline. Dealing with a difficult situation, you want to be polite, right? You don't want to come off as aggressive or even too passive. So you want to be balanced by using assertive yet polite language to address the problem. Number 7, expressing opinions. Do you think schools should have more extracurricular activities? Why or why not? I strongly believe that schools should offer more extracurricular activities. These activities play a vital role in students' development beyond academics. They provide opportunities for students to explore their interests, whether it's in sports, music, arts, or other areas. This exploration can help them discover their passions and talents, which might not be evident in the classroom. Additionally, extracurricular activities teach valuable life skills such as teamwork, leadership, and time management, which are crucial for success in the real world. They also offer a break from academic pressure, allowing students to de stress and have fun. While academics are important, a well rounded education that includes extracurricular activities prepares students for life by helping them grow into more confident, capable individuals. We can see some problems expressing opinions when the opinion lacks evidence. If you say your opinion, but then you don't say why, people maybe will be confused, right? So you want to back up your opinion with specific examples or facts to make it more convincing. Task 8, describing an unusual situation. And this one is very vague, not specific. So you have to be creative. Describe an unusual scene you witnessed recently. So it's an open-ended question. You can say anything. Recently, I witnessed something quite unusual while taking a walk in the park. As I was strolling near the lake, I noticed a man standing on a small wooden raft holding a large umbrella. But here's the strange part: he wasn't using the umbrella to shield himself from the sun or rain. Instead, he had tied a string to the top of the umbrella, which was connected to a small kite flying above him. The man was carefully maneuvering the raft across the water using the kite, as if he was sailing with the wind. It was a bizarre sight, seeing someone use an umbrella and a kite to steer a raft. But he seemed to be having a great time. People around the park stopped to watch, some even taking pictures, clearly amused by this creative and unusual method of sailing. So in this problem is struggling to keep the situation realistic, yet also imaginative. It has to be real, but you have to use your imagination. The solution to this problem is to combine familiar elements, so everyday things, with creative elements or creative twists. This will help you to say a believable yet interesting situation. So I also shared these tips in the last video from last week. Last week we had another CELPIP speaking mock test, which you could check out. I'll put the link at the top here. So the general tips are to make sure you know each task, focus on sentence structure, make the sentence clear and simple, and practice with a friend or tutor. And these days, you can also practice with an AI like ChatGPT. And then stay calm and positive. Don't be worried, don't be negative. And then use online resources like Caribou English. If you want to see more CELPIP videos, subscribe to Caribou English and give this video a like and a comment. So thanks for watching. Good luck.